The Duggar sisters have garnered a lot of attention over the years. I mean, they grew up on reality TV, and much of their adult lives have been documented for the world to see. From marrying the loves of their lives to welcoming children, all adult sisters except for Jana have had their weddings televised. The births of their children even had birth special episodes. But over the years, Duggar followers have learned some of the rules that the Duggar sisters were supposed to follow. Emphasis, supposed to. And there are so many. But over the years, the sisters have slowly begun to break them. And as the women have grown up, moved out, and become women of their own, there has been a shift in the rules that they have chosen to adopt for themselves. Some have stuck by how they were raised in certain ideas, and others have decided to switch things up a bit for what they feel is a better fit for their lives. These are the rules the Duggar sisters are meant to follow, but don't. Number 10. Growing up, all of the adult Duggar daughters had long, undyed hair. Now that has changed for several of them. In their own way, each Duggar daughter has broken this rule. Jessa and Joanna Duggar have worn bangs in recent years, and Joy also dyed her hair a bit darker than her natural shade. Ginger Duggar went blonde and completely cut off her hair. And Jill Duggar once shared that she was looking for a hair makeover. She ended up taking off several inches of her hair, and it seems like she would possibly do more and possibly a color change. Jana seems to be the only one that hasn't ventured away from this rule. Number 9. Did you know Michelle Duggar experienced a miscarriage after using birth control following the birth of Josh Duggar? Well, she and Jim Bob have talked a lot about their views on the matter, and it always goes back to just not using it. While Jana is not using it because she has yet to enter a courtship and get married, some of the other sisters have also stuck to this rule even after tying the knot and having children. Jill Duggar admitted that she and Derek Dillard used non-hormonal birth control in one of their YouTube Q&A sessions. She is the rebel when it comes to family planning and has just 2 children after 7 years of marriage. Number 8. If there were ever a Duggar rule meant to be broken, it is definitely this one for the Duggar sisters. Each of the adult sisters has worn pants at this point. Ginger Duggar was actually the first to break the rule, and the rest of them followed in their own way. Jana even went out on a limb and has been photographed in pants too. But of course, modesty is still key. But Michelle Duggar has eased up on the subject of adult Duggar sisters wearing pants. The younger set of sisters remains in skirts and dresses though. Number 7. Now while the jury is still out on some of the Duggar sisters who have younger children, Jill was the first daughter to break this rule. She announced that Israel would be attending kindergarten in a public school setting. Jill Duggar was also the first daughter to welcome children. Ahead of her were Josh and Anna Duggar, and she homeschools all of her children. Jessa Duggar is the next one in line, and with Spurgeon, she decided to homeschool him. Most recently on Instagram, Jessa actually shared a photograph of Spurgeon working away on his schoolwork. So apparently, homeschooling is working for her. Number 6. This is one of the most significant rules for the Duggar girls. They were sworn to secrecy about Josh Duggar touching them as children, and when the news broke about it, nearly a decade later in 2015, things fell apart. However, most of the sisters have remained quiet about this subject still. Jill Duggar is the one who broke this rule, but only after things got bad between her and her parents. For quite some time, as Derek Dillard dropped hints about the rift, she remained silent. Jill is often taken to social media to talk about some of the happenings within the family. That was one of the biggest rules broken. And still, the other sisters look to their parents for guidance about when to speak. Number 5. Having a social media account was once reserved for those who were married. The Duggar daughters were not meant to have their own accounts. It was to be a joint account with their spouse. Joy Anna Duggar and Austin Forsythe started a joint account, but then moved to separate ones. And all of the married sisters have their own handle, and their husbands have separate accounts as well. Jana Duggar has an Instagram account too. She's single, but Jim Bob and Michelle have agreed that she can have a social media handle. This rule is probably the most broken of the bunch, since all of the sisters are involved with not following stipulations laid out by their parents. Number 4. I don't know how they do it, but beer and hard liquor are not allowed where the Duggar sisters are concerned. They believe that alcohol is bad and drinking is strictly prohibited. Now, Jill Duggar was the one to break this rule. She was spotted out on a date with Derek Dillard, and there was an alcoholic drink next to her. It was confirmed as a pina colada when fans asked, and Jill did say she has had a drink every now and then. The other sisters haven't really weighed in, but it doesn't appear that they're at all into drinking. Number 3. Television and music are heavily monitored in the Duggar household. If there's something the parents question, it's banned from the sisters' lives. Did you know? Dancing isn't allowed either. There is no music at these weddings except for hymns or something else approved by Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. I mean, to each his own. But Jill likes so many rules as she reads her children's secular chapter books. Her boys also have a handful of favorite TV shows. Now, the other sisters haven't been open about what their children do and do not watch, but Jessa Duggar gave her children devices to keep them content at least once. Number 2. Premarital sex? You can forget about it. The rules of courtship are very clear amongst the Duggar family. There is no kissing, no nothing. It is all saved until the wedding day. Hugs are okay, but only side hugs. No frontal contact is allowed ahead of the wedding either. In fact, the first kiss is a very huge deal, and the sisters often thought long and hard about it. Jessa Duggar and Ben Sewall chose to have their first kiss in private, while the other sisters did it in front of everyone at their ceremonies. And some of the sisters chose to hold hands and display other forms of affection, while kissing remained taboo until the wedding day. Number 1. Now, when it comes to a healthy marriage, Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar teach their daughters to be at their husband's beck and call. You heard that right. If he wants some bedroom time, you must comply. Michelle has gone into great detail about making herself available for Jim Bob when he needs it. Sex is supposed to be a way of pleasing your husband, so if he wants it, you gotta do it. While none of the married sisters have talked about it, we wouldn't be surprised to learn that some women just don't do that. Raising babies and taking care of a house can be hard, and sometimes they just might be too tired. But hey, to each his own. Well, that's all we have on the list of Duggar rules. Were there any of these rules that surprised you? Any of them just a little bit too bizarre in 2023? Let us know in the comments. And as always, like this video, be sure to subscribe and share if you care. And we'll see you all at the next one.